Now let us knit the cow's nose. Using skin-colored yarn. We need to start with a chain stitch to secure the stitches, so tie a knot first. Wrap the yarn around with a crochet hook like this. Then hold the cross part with your left hand. Pull the hook out from the front. Then wrap the yarn around. Pull it through the loop. Now, pull it tight to form a knot. Next, we need to do 4 chain stitches. Chain stitch completed. We are going to start knitting inside the second to last chain. This V letter is a chain stitch. This is the second chain stitch. Then we are going to knit in the second chain stitch. Insert the hook into the left half of this V shape. Then knit a single crochet SC. After finishing this single crochet SC, place a stitch marker. Then knit another single crochet SC. Next, we need to knit a 3-stitch increase in the next stitch. First, in the left half of this last V shape, knit 2 single crochets SC. Next, in the right half stitch, knit 1 single crochet SC. So, in the last stitch, we have a total of 3 stitches. Now, knit into the next half stitch. Then, knit 1 single crochet SC. After that, knit into the next stitch. Knit 1 increased stitching. This way, we complete the first round. Now, remove the stitch marker. Do a slip stitch S's. After completing the slip stitch S's, do a chain stitch. Round 2, make 3 single crochet SC first. After completing the first single crochet SC, place a stitch marker. Then continue crocheting the remaining single crochets SC. After finishing the 3 single crochets SC, make a 3-stitch increasing. Insert the needle into the next stitch. Insert the hook into the next stitch and make 3 consecutive single crochets. This completes 1 3-stitch increase. Then crochet 3 single crochets SC. Finally, in the last stitch, make another 3-stitch increasing. This means crocheting 3 consecutive single crochets SC in the same stitch. The second round is finished. Remove the stitch marker and do a slip stitch S's. Next, make a chain. Round 3, start by crocheting 4 single crochets SC. After completing the first single crochet SC, place a stitch marker. Then continue crocheting the remaining single crochets. After knitting the single crochet SC, make 2 increase stitching. After finishing the single crochets SC, make 2 increase stitching. Crochet 2 consecutive increase stitching, then 4 single crochets SC. In this way, the third circle is knitted. Remove the stitch marker and do a slip stitch S's. Then the nose part is completed. Stretch the loop and cut it off. Trim the excess thread at the back slightly shorter. In this way, when the time comes, stick it on the front of the head to hide the yarn. Alternatively, leave the thread a bit longer for sewing. Next, let's talk about the nostrils of the cow's nose. First, on the front, put the yarn end toward the lower left. Then use black yarn to sew the nostrils. Now let me show you where the thread is positioned. Take a piece of yarn. No need to be so long, half as long is enough. Thread the black yarn into the needle. Hold the piece like this. We can start stitching from the leftmost side. Then pull the thread, leaving a tail. Find the upper left corner of the hole. Pierce and sew up from the upper left corner. Then find the left end of the middle seam. Pierce here. Insert the needle here on the far left. Then enter from the upper right corner of the hole. This way, the nostril position is sewn. Then turn it to the back. Tie 2 knots with the black thread. Then cut off the excess yarn. Don't cut it too short or the knot will fall apart. You can use glue to stick it here. This completes the nostrils. Now do cow hair. First, make a magic ring. Wrap the yarn around your hand as before. Then, in the loop formed by your middle finger, make a magic ring. Crochet a chain stitch to secure the ring. Now let us start crocheting 6 single crochets, SC. After completing the first single crochet, place a stitch marker. Then continue crocheting the remaining single crochets SC. After finishing the 6 single crochets, tighten the loop. Then remove the stitch marker. Do a slip stitch S's. After completing the slip stitch S's, do a chain stitch. Round 2. We need to make 6 increased stitches ink. Instead of inserting the hook directly into the first stitch, we need to start from the stitch away from us, which is the inner loop. This one is the loop away from us, and this one is the loop closer to us. And in this manner, we are working across the entire stitch. We pick up the loop away from us to make the increase stitches ink, then do 6 increased stitch ink. First, make the initial increased stitch ink. Remember to place a stitch marker on the first stitch. Then, continue picking up the loops away from us. Make the rest of the increased stitches ink. All are half stitched inside. After completing all 6 increased stitches ink, remove the stitch marker. Finish off by pulling the yarn through and making a chain stitch. Round 3 consists of 1 knit stitch and 1 increased stitch ink combination. Repeated 6 times, all done on the inner half stitch. That means we need to pick the stitch furthest away from us, then make 1 knit stitch. After completing the knit stitch, place a stitch marker. Next, make an increased stitch ink. This completes 1 set of 1 knit stitch and 1 increased stitch combination. Repeat this process for the remaining sets. After finishing, remove the stitch marker and do a slip stitch S's. Next, we are going to start making the cow's hair. First, make a chain stitch, then stretch the coil. Stretch to the length of thumb joint. Next, wrap the hook with the yarn 8 times. After wrapping 8 times, move to the next stitch, which is the one we just slipped. Then, insert the hook into the second stitch. Press the yarn with your thumb near the fabric. Wrap the yarn once and pull it through, similar to a slip stitch S's. After completing the slip stitch S's, make another chain stitch. Then, pull the yarn to the same length as before and wrap it around the hook 8 times again. After completing the turn, repeat this process for the next stitch, similarly doing a chain stitch followed by 8 wraps. In total, make 18 sets. Wrap the yarn and pull up a loop, then complete a slip stitch S's. After completing the slip stitch S's, work a single chain stitch. Pull the loop of yarn to lengthen it, then wrap the yarn around the hook 8 times. This is the second set. After completing the turn, insert the hook into the next stitch. Then, hold it firmly, wrap the yarn, and make a yarn over, followed by making a chain stitch. Pull the yarn to elongate the loop, then make 8 chain stitches. Repeat this process for the next stitch, similarly doing a lock stitch followed by 8 wraps. Continue for 15 more sets. We have completed making a hair strand on every stitch of this round. Now, we need to go back to the previous row. The outer half stitch of the second round, that's the protruding yarn here. We all have to crochet on this yarn. Follow the same steps as before. After completing the chain stitch, extend the loop, then wrap it around 8 times. Next, we directly jump from the outer ring to the inner ring. Then pick the nearest stitch here and insert the hook through it. Pull the loop close to the fabric. And then do a slip stitch S's. In this way, after finishing the chain stitch, extend the loop and wrap it around 8 times. Following the same steps as before, crochet the remaining part. After completing the last stitch of this row, do a chain stitch and then elongate the loop, wrapping it around 8 times. After completing the wraps, let's take a look at the upper side. The outer half stitches of the first row are here on this side, like this. This stitch here is an outer half stitch. This one. This one. Outer half needle. So, we need to crochet all 6 outer half stitches this row. Using the same method as before, we find the nearest outer half stitch. Insert the hook. Then do slip stitch S's. Make chain stitch, extend the loop, wrap it around 8 times. Insert the hook into the next stitch. Slip stitch S's, chain stitch, extend the loop. Insert the hook into the next stitch. Slip stitch S's, chain stitch, extend the loop. Repeat the previous steps to complete the remaining parts. Now, crochet 6 stitches for this row. After finishing the chain stitch, extend the loop. Cut the yarn. First, pull out the yarn like this. Tidy up the direction of the spiral. Later, we'll use a sewing needle to thread this end of the yarn back through from where it ends, pulling it down below to hide it.